This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Hundreds turned out at the Church of God auditorium today to bid final farewell to former Vice President of the Senate, prominent educator and member of the House of Assembly, the late Dr. Frank Edgecombe, who was laid to rest.
LaDawn Davis attended the funeral services this morning, where a number of government officials, including Prime Minister Perry Christie, reflected on the man whom many refer to as a great nation builder.
Described as a nation builder, educator, and a politician who looked out for the small man and the historic Fox Hill community. Today, family and friends gave their final tributes to a giant of a man, the late Dr. Frank Edgecombe, at the Church of God auditorium. Edgecombe began his career in the public service as an educator. He became the first Fox Hillian to be named as principal of the Sandilands Primary School for a decade. In all, his career as an educator would total 26 years. Mr. Edgecombe was also an active stalwart counselor in the Progressive Liberal Party. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie says Edgecombe was a man of honor and integrity who did not let the power of politics change him, but instead used his gift in the teaching profession to mold and shape the lives of the nation's youth.
There is no greater calling that one can have in this life than to be a teacher. I say that with absolute conviction because more than in any other vocation or profession, a teacher holds the future in his or her hands, almost literally. A teacher is called to shape and mold young lives, and how well a teacher meets that challenge will determine in a decisive way the kind of future those young lives will have.
Member of Parliament for the Fox Hill constituency, Fred Mitchell, says the late Dr. Frank Edgecombe has left a rich legacy behind and plans to use that legacy to continue to build the community of Fox Hill.
The people of Fox Hill see the Sandilands School, the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, and the Fox Hill Prison as the natural place for them to work. That, too, is something to which I am dedicated. This constituency of Fox Hill was created in the 1968 general election in tribute to the people of African descent and their discrete development that was preserved and protected uniquely in New Providence. It is that legacy which we still work to protect today.
Lifelong friend and political rival Fred Ramsey reflected on some of the special moments in Edgecombe's political career.
I said to Frank, after I congratulated him, I say one thing I could say, both of us run a good race. He said, but I didn't know you could run me so hard. I said, you're Fred Ramsey, man. So was the Fox Hill boys. And everybody didn't vote party-wise. They voted individuals.
Edgecombe was interred at the Mount Carey Union Baptist Church Cemetery in Fox Hill in a community he loved till the end. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Tensions may have eased over the BEC saga, at least for now. It appears that there's been a temporary resolution regarding both unions thanks to the intervention of the minister with responsibility for the corporation.
Last week, the line staff union said they would take industrial action if they were cut when paid this week. And then on Friday, president of the managers union at BEC, Clinton Minnis, announced that managers were going on a work to rule because of their outstanding issues. Well, Minnis has since informed ZNS News that things are on hold for both unions.
We have communicated both unions with the Deputy Prime Minister on the weekend and the Minister of Labour. And as it read this morning in the media, especially the Nassau Guardian, the Deputy Prime Minister indicated that the status quo would remain the same until discussions and meetings are held to bring some closure to this ongoing saga. And so we want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister for leadership intervention, which we believe is necessary. And we are prepared to sit down and come to some peaceful resolve in the interest of country and the workers of BEC.
Prime Minister Perry Christie says the Progressive Liberal Party was born out of fulfilling a need which still resonates with the masses today. As the party celebrates its 60th anniversary this month, it's reflecting on the people-based agenda that has kept the party relevant more than half a century after it was formally instituted. He was addressing a luncheon to mark the anniversary yesterday.
In the 60-year existence of the PLP, there was a need, fired by a yearning need in the belly of people, to do something about the inequality that existed in this country. People were not free. Boys and girls could not aspire to be the best they could. That is why the doctors and the lawyers and the engineers and the teachers throughout the Bahamas in those days could not become those things, not because they didn't have the brain, they just didn't have the opportunity because it wasn't there for them. That is why the PLP was born.
Now, the PLP leader concedes that the party hasn't always publicized its accomplishments as it should, and that's something he plans to change.
Tell the people now, over and over and over, of what we met. Let's tell them the difficulties we face because what we met. Over and over again. But let's tell them this. Tell them we are going to bring relief to them. Tell them that 2014 will be better than 2013.
Well, it's time for the poll question of the week. You may know that interschool sports has fallen victim to a dispute between the government and the Bahamas Union of Teachers.
Well, this week we ask, is after-school sports fair game in the union or the teachers' union standoff with the government? We want to hear from you, and you can vote yes or no by logging on to our website. It's www.znsbahamas.com. Now, the poll results will be released, as always, on Friday. Well, still to come in Family Island news, the story of the sole Family Island graduate in the Ministry of Education's grandfathering program.
And more on the injunction barring the B3As from electing a new council. That's ahead in ZNS Total Sports. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is the Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm LaDawn Davis. Some good news for all of you motorists out there. For the first time in a very long time, gas on the island of New Providence is under $5. According to Gas Tracker, the cheapest gas can be found at Esso for $4.85. After that is Rubis, formerly Texaco. Gas there is priced at $4.87, and you can pay $4.89 at all Shell gas stations in New Providence. The Bahamas branch of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, in collaboration with the Bahamas Bar Association, are moving ahead to position the Bahamas as the arbitration center of choice in the region. Noted international arbitration expert Louise Barrington has been invited to lead a workshop on the United Nations Convention contracts for the international sale of goods this Wednesday and Thursday. And in international business, oil prices dropped on Monday after a groundbreaking agreement aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear program eased tensions in the region and raised the prospect of more oil exports from the country. The preliminary accord, which was struck between Iran and 6 world powers, offers the Middle East nation $7 billion in immediate relief from economic sanctions. The U.S. government estimates that Iran has lost about $80 billion in revenue as oil sales slumped by 60% since the start of 2012. And that was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm LaDawn Davis.